Welcome to Family Basics 101. I'm Dr. Bruce McClure, and as we continue our five-part series entitled Looking at Today Through the Eyes of Yesterday, today we will focus on the topic Today and Yesterday, and what does that look like when they meet. So as we begin our series today, when today and yesterday meet, what happens? According to memory experts at the University of California School of Medicine, located in San Diego, California, and also according to the San Diego Veteran Affairs Health System, people can acquire and keep information in memory even when they are not conscious or actively learning in the present. What this basically says is simply this. There are things that are being stored from our yesterdays that are being archived in our minds that we sometimes do not even realize is taking place. It's not consciously done. It's not actively learned. In other words, a person does not sit in a classroom, nor do they sit in an audience with the intent of actively learning those habits and those behaviors of yesterday. Habit learning and habit memory, however, occurs when repetitious acts, repetitious behaviors, or repetitious examples from one's today's gone by are stored without a person being fully aware of them being embedded in the mind. Habit learning, as we introduced on yesterday, that is negative, appears to be the greater challenge when it meets with the habit learning that is positive. So the old things that we have learned from our yesterdays seems to be much more complex to wrestle through in a healthy manner than the positive things that we learned in our yesterdays. The positive events are those things that make us smile and give us peace within. But those negative yesterdays are the struggles that collide with our positive todays. So as we develop the lesson today, just focus on when your todays meet your yesterdays, especially if there is an attempt today to be a joyous person, and the majority of the transactions of your yesterdays from that habit memory are not so pleasant. The habits of yesterday typically are not fortunate enough to only encounter yesterday people. In essence, if all of our transactions gone by only impacted events gone by and behaviors and people gone by, then yesterdays would remain in the past. But that's typically not how yesterdays operate. The learned habit behavior from every person at some point will intersect with the habit behaviors of someone else. The meeting of these two habit behaviors, however, never meet in the yesterdays, but they always meet in today. And the answer is simply this. Because we live in the today. Now, our emotions and our learned responses are from the yesterdays that we bring over into the today. But the reality is, we live in real time. We do not live in future time, nor do we live in past time. We live in the current time. When we look at the yesterday and the today meeting, always first we must see the yesterday, today, is the person who is present from yesterday. So when we deal with the meeting of yesterday and today, always you must see the yesterday, today. Who is that? That's you. You do not meet someone outside of you as soon as you wake up in the morning time. If you are allowed to breathe today, the first person that you meet is yourself. You awake inside of you today. If you're married, the first person that you meet when you awake is not your spouse who's in bed with you. The first person that you meet each day when you arise from sleep is the you inside of you. And the you today is always the first person that you meet from your past every day that you awake. Now, when the today you meet the yesterday you, there are some real possibilities of what that transaction may look like. It may look like an opportunity to change. When you wake up today, realizing the you of yesterday, do you take advantage to redeem the times? Do you first take an opportunity to assess your yesterday personally to see how it may positively or negatively impact your today? A refusal to acknowledge the challenges that yesterday is creating in your today is really first and foremost detrimental to you. Flight as far away as possible. That's an option. Each person who wakes up has the option to just run away, fly away from their yesterdays, but flight as far away from your yesterday without actually dealing with your yesterday, it really says that in your today, you're going to take on a detachment from the reality of the day because you've never successfully handled your yesterday. Here's another option for your today. Fear or freeze. We call it fight or flight. But another option is if you don't fight, if you don't flee, then it's to freeze. A freeze person can't function in today for fear that yesterday's person might in all ways become their today's. So when I'm presented with opportunities today, I might, because of fear, just freeze up and I not be able to respond to the real opportunity of life as it is given to me in the today. So the opportunities when yesterday meets today are real simple. To change, refuse to acknowledge, fly as far away from it as possible, or fear or freeze up and ignore that there are opportunities for today to be better than yesterday. In the book of James, chapter 1, verses 23 and 24, listen at the words of this wise apostle. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is likened to a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself, and goeth from himself, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. Do you see he's looking into his yesterdays today? And he's not looking at someone else, he's looking at self. Yesterday and today always start with an encounter of you. And unless we behold honestly in the mirror, the reflection of who you are, the reflection of who I am, who we really are, not today, but who we would really like to be today. But we've got to look at who we were yesterday if we want the person in the mirror today to be much better than yesterday. I'll see you back in class again tomorrow. Don't be late and don't skip class.